Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu and this is Shoddy Showground for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. Another custom scenario from Radrian. Tired of your wave of crime that has followed your travelling fare, the local council have given you a permanent location for your rides. Unfortunately for you, it is in a less than desirable location. Put a foot wrong and your park will close forever. Your objective, to have at least 1,600 guests in your park. You must not let the park rating drop below 700 at any time. So if the rating does drop below 700, it'll give us a warning, and then we've got a month then to get that rating back up over the 700. Otherwise, it'll close the park and we can't reopen it. If we do manage to get it up over the 700, then the timer will reset. So if it ever drops below, we've got another month. Okay, so we've got a lot of rides at the start. I don't like that. We're going to rejig those, but let's have a look first. We're charging for rides. Okay, that's cool. So I don't like the way the Enterprise path is a little bit small. I don't like the way the exit and the entrance for the spiral slide straight onto the pathing. I don't like the kiosk surrounded by path like that. I like the car ride. That's cool. In typical Radrian style, we've got a lot of block breaks on the coaster, which probably will hamper the throughput. But obviously it's sort of more realistic that way. And it's pretty cool. We will probably keep that. And we've got our haunted house. And yeah, we've seen the car ride. I'll probably try and split the station for that. Let's have a look at the length. This might be cutting it a bit fine with the length. If we drop below, can't remember offhand what the length is, but if we drop below, it'll give us a stat penalty. So yeah, it's going to rain. So I figure, let's have a look. Let's get this menu up then. So we've got nothing in there. We've got good selection of gentle rides. We've got a couple of coasters. We've got some thrill rides, no water rides, and not a great selection of shops. So let's put our research into shops and crack on with moving things around. October year one, 587 guests in the park, and we've moved things around at the start. So we've got a longer queue line on the Enterprise, and then the space that we've made down the bottom, we've added some shops, some food stalls, that sort of thing. We've rejigged the queue line for the twist. Just there, we've moved the spiral slide up here with the space we saved by getting rid of the information kiosk and moving that down towards the gate. We've got umbrellas at £20. We've got a toilet next door, a couple of balloon stalls as well. Moving up then, I have tried tweaking the mini coaster a little bit. Maybe reducing the brakes slightly on some of them, because if you see that black car as it just went down the top now, the brakes were quite sudden before the block brake, so I've just sort of upped them slightly. Hasn't really done much. Yeah, it's more or less the same. And then Formula One, I've renamed it to Dirty Racing after my favorite racing game on the Game Boy. So I've split the station and shortened that bend slightly so I could fit another toilet and kiosk in. But then, as I said might happen, it ended up coming back a little bit too short. So we had a stat penalty. So I just extended it slightly at the bottom down here. And so the stats have come back probably more or less what they were. Got a circus just up here as well. And then we've added a side friction coaster. And I've purposely left this bit by here like that because I figure at some point we're probably going to unlock some sort of tower, whether it's like a roto drop or an observation tower or a launch tower or something like that, and we can fit that in. So we are definitely going to be trying to Tetris in the rides as tightly as possible. So with the side friction coaster then, I've tried to go for something that you might see on one of these old sort of, I would say, beach line parks, but there's another bit of land over here, so I don't know what the correct term is, like a spit or something, or maybe it's next to a river. And actually, I think it's worthwhile having a quick look at the scenery as well. Radrian always makes a good looking scenario, and this one is definitely up there as well. One thing I will add though is that there is a little bit of not custom scenery, but scenery from the DLCs. So I can't remember which one it is, either Time Twister or Wacky World. So you've got the train tracks there, and then you've got I think the petrol stations are from it as well. So if you haven't got those installed on Classic, this scenario might not work for you. I will put the link for it in the description. So yeah, I've tried to go for something that you would see just basically putting the tracks on top of tracks, if you know what I mean. So they all share supports. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Let's have a look at the stats. So it's called Links. We've got Wildcat, and now we've got Links. And yeah, I figure for year 2, what we're going to do then is for research. I can't really decide between roller coasters and thrill rides, so I've put my research into both of them because we pretty much need both. I'm going to extend the path down, straight down the middle, so whatever comes out, we can just put it either side depending on what I think works best. Yeah, so that's the plan. Money-wise, we're doing all right. As you can see that that big spike in the shop sales for last month, that's for the umbrellas. So we're doing all right. We just need to keep doing this, and we should be fine. October year 2. So we haven't done a huge amount this year. We've been running it on fast forward a lot to unlock some of the rides. One of the beauties of this type of scenario is the fact that there's no time limit. So we just need to get that 1,600 guests, and we can't let the rating drop. Whether it takes us 1 year or 10 years to do that, it doesn't matter. Going slow probably does make it a little easier, because one of the problems with expanding your park too quickly is you get a lot of guests coming in quickly, and that then can lead to overcrowding, litter, maybe vandalism, that sort of thing. So going quite slowly should combat that. The downside is your rides will get a lot older quicker. So, you know, there is that. We do seem to have hit sort of 800 guests, and I'm not sure if we're stalling or whether we just need a few more rides. So I am, in the back of my mind, I am thinking that Radrian does like a bit of the old harder guest generation. So if we've got that, we can have a look at that. But I think for now we'll carry on as we are. We've got the magic carpet and the motion simulator down there. That should be helping bringing the guests in. This looping coaster, it's called Cheetah. So if we do have harder guest generation, this should be okay for it. So the trick with harder guest generation is you need to start building coasters. Once your guest numbers start stalling, switch to building coasters with greater than 6 excitement and a ride length of over 2,000 feet. It's a little bit less than that. It works out as 600 meters, so whatever the equivalent is. So I always aim for 2,000 feet. But this is a shuttle, so I don't know if that's going to count. It's starting to rain, so let's stop waffling and get on with it. October year 3, we've still got 800 guests in the park, so I think we can safely assume we've got the harder guest generation. So we've got the drop tower in amongst the bends on the side friction coaster, and now it's not raining. I can show you this looping coaster. So it shoots you out up over the trees, which I also discovered you can't remove. And you also can't terraform. So it goes up over the trees, then we got a couple of loops, then we got the spike, and then it comes back. So I am wondering if, even though the length requirement of this is fine, whether the fact that it's a shuttle means that it doesn't actually count. So I know that there are issues sometimes with the way the length is calculated on this game. We saw that, I think it was in Thunderstorm Park. But I'm wondering if this somehow the game knows it's a shuttle and it doesn't count it. That's what I'm thinking. So there isn't a way of testing it, and that's by building a big ugly ride that meets the stats. And to be honest, that's not the way I want to go about it with this park. I was having fun building a park that looks like it could be basically a glorified showground, you know. So I would be a little disappointed if we have to go down the harder guest generation route. So we can give that a go. In the meantime, we've researched all the thrill rides and coasters, so now we're researching gentle rides and water rides. Since we haven't got a time limit, I'm giving the old two at a time thing a try. I probably won't be doing it for the other scenarios, but we'll give it a go this time. And yeah, we'll see what happens. October year 4. So this isn't actually real. I have used the power of advanced AI to simulate what would happen if we were to replace the mini coaster with a steel wild mouse that meets the stat requirements for harder guest generation. And as you can see, the number of guests in the park is starting to go up for the first time in a good few years. So I think we can safely assume then that this scenario does in fact have harder guest generation. So if we were to go down this route, we would increase the guest numbers. But I don't want to go down this route because I think this coaster is very ugly and I don't want to be building coasters all the way down here that are like that. Instead, I'd rather be building rides like this one that don't meet the requirements for the harder guest generation, but actually look like you might see them in a fun fair or something. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to close down this simulation and go back into the real park in real life, because this is real, not a game, and make sure that we keep the Wildcat, the mini coaster, and instead focus on rides that you would see maybe in a fun fair or something down here. And at the end, once we filled the whole park up, what we're going to do is we're going to advertise. So there are 3 ways when you hit the harder guest generation guest cap of increasing the guest numbers. Is the first way, as I said, 6 plus excitement coasters, 2,000 feet in length or 600 meters, whichever. The second way is hitting your awards. So getting positive awards will boost your guest generation by about 25%. And the third way is advertising, just bypasses all that. Now, you guys know that I do not like advertising, but I also don't want to fill the park full of really, really ugly looking rides. So that's the route we're going to go down. July year 4. And look, see, I didn't get rid of it. It's there. Fantastic. So we filled the park then. We've got a Dodgems just down there. And then we've got a go-kart track just there called Grand Prix. Decent stats on that. And then we've gone for a shuttle coaster in the corkscrew. So it takes you up, drops you down. You've got the loop, and then you've got the cobra roll, photo section, corkscrew, tiny little airtime hill, rear spike, and then it does the whole thing in reverse. And on test, it just about made it back through. When it got to that loop on the final return, it almost stalled at the top and went backwards. And I thought, oh, now I'm going to have to try and, I don't know, either shorten the train. That probably wouldn't work. Maybe raise the spike or something. And that would probably put it to extreme. But it just about made it through. So I figured once it's open and it's full of guests, it'll be heavier and it should be fine. So let's have a look at the stats. Nice stats, nice high stats. I like that. Yeah, so we have been charging £5 now for the coasters. Some of the flat rides, the rubbish ones, we've put down free. Some of the better ones we've put down to £1. The looping coaster, when we first had it opened, we were charging £10 a go for that. making some good cash for it. We got tons of cash now. We got loads. So what we really need now is the guests. So this is the bit that I don't like, but as I said earlier, it's the lesser of two evils. I don't want to fill the park with rides that I think look ugly. I'd rather have a park looking like this, which I think looks quite nice. It looks like, I think this looks like a park that you might see in a showground. I don't know. But I'd rather do it like this and advertise than do it with filling full of wild mouse that are like, over a mile long, a mile and a half long. So this is what we're going to do. May year 7. So we have been advertising non-stop for the past 3 years. So anyone thinking I've taken the easy way out, you're very much mistaken. This is taking a while. So what I've been doing is I've been running it on fast forward with the marketing screen open like this. And then as soon as it finishes, put it on pause. And then we just go through them. Let's have a look. Vouchers for free rides. We'll put that one on there. That was the Wooden Wild Mine. Vouchers for, we'll give them chips. Campaign for the park, 6 weeks. Campaign for a ride. We'll do the, where is it? There. The shuttle at the back of the park. Okay. And then we're running on fast forward again. So whilst I'm down this area of the park, I have been changing the colour of the balloons just to, keep me busy whilst I'm down here. Just add a little bit more colour. And also the umbrellas. There you go. So the pop-ups at the below are slightly delayed. That's for the previous ones. 1,570. We do have a lot of guests complaining about overcrowding. I put a load of benches down along the paths, thinking maybe that'll help. Didn't. We're getting there. No. Starting to stall slightly. Spammed a load of staff. Wish I could spam guests. So we got plenty of those. So we were having a lot of breakdowns, and we were still running with the same two mechanics as we had at the start. So I've put a lot more of those down. Chucked a lot of handymen down in case of sick and things. I've put a lot of bins around the place. We just struggling to get those last 30-something guests. Hopefully when the sun comes out, it'll go back up. Oh, there you go. And we repeat the process. So why don't we give them free rides on that? For a change, advertising campaign for the park. We'll give them a free drink. We'll give them, so those are the drinks from the shop that looks like Coke cans. And we'll give we'll do a free campaign or a marketing campaign for the go-karts. There you go. Now we need 50 guests, so we might be at the peak. So maybe what I need to do is just sort of reduce the price of the food stalls. Oh, we've got an award. That'll help. So that will boost our numbers. What's happening now? Let's have a look. There were guests complaining about vandalism. Okay, so we'll hide that. And then we'll go in and we'll select the spanner or wrench, whichever way you want to think of it, and then we'll just have a look round. Can we see anything? Oh, there's some benches right up here. Fix those, fix those, fix those. There you go. So that's fine. So I think what we need then is we need a couple more security guards. We got plenty of cash. I'm not worried about that. And then we'll put one down here. And we'll run it on fast forward and we'll try again. Now we need 70 guests. Maybe we'll drop the price. There's no cash points in the game. I did continue researching shops to see if a cash point would come out, because that could help retain guests. But there wasn't any. And now we need 70 guests again. It goes up when the sun comes out, and then it rains, and they all leave. At least they're not complaining about vandalism anymore. So hopefully, come next year, we normally see a bit of a bounce in the new year, in like March, April. So hopefully we'll get that, and the guest numbers will rocket up. Now we need 90-something guests. Okay, so we're back up. I was going to say back up to 1,580 guests. It's now dropped slightly. So I've just been round, fixed a little bit more vandalism, reduced down some of the shops as well. Maybe we could do the same with the balloons. I don't know. Let's put it on really cheap. The rain is really giving me a problem, but not so much at the moment. We have made the umbrella a little bit cheaper as well. So hopefully we're going to pass it now. I don't want to pass it during the rain because the rain really, the YouTube algorithm really doesn't like the rain. But I guess I can't be too choosy. And we've done it. Stu! Fantastic. Let's skip this rain. Okay, it stopped raining, so we can carry on. So we're going to let the marketing campaigns fall now. They've only got a few more weeks to go. And then once we've done that, then the amount of guests in the park is going to substantially fall off. Yeah, I do like the way it's turned out. As I said, I don't like the harder guest generation gimmick on this particular scenario. It can work on other scenarios. On this one, I don't like it because I didn't want to have to go down the route of building big, ugly coasters like I showed you earlier. Instead, I wanted to do rides like that, or like this, or like this one, rides that you might see in a showground as well. I did add another chimney or silo or whatever those things are to match the ones on the edge there. I think that worked. That looks pretty good. Yeah, so all in all, I did enjoy this scenario. It looks fantastic. It was fun. There's a great backstory. These are sort of the three things Radrian does really well. He does a backstory. The scenarios look good. And generally, they're fun to play as well. So yeah, so those were cool. So I've been Stu. This has been Shoddy Showground. What am I doing, Stu? You need to do a POV. Yes, we do. What's the best angle? What is the best angle? There? Yeah, that could work. Cool. So let's just wait for it to come back into the station. So this has been Shoddy Showground, another fantastic scenario from Radrian. I will put the download link in the video description. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.